Good afternoon, everyone. The meeting is scheduled to start at 2 p.m. However, Supervisors Joya and Glover are still in a Contra Costa Fire Protection District meeting, so we will wait until the end of that meeting to start this meeting when the supervisors can join.
How many participants do you have in your meeting? Probably squeeze you into one of the other conference rooms that have technology set up as well.
Okay, it's John, Joya, and Glover.
Yeah, so, oh, it's interesting. There's the closed session room, and that actually works perfectly, particularly if they're the participants. And so
Okay.
that would work really well, and they would be used to that. That would
Okay.
definitely provide a lot more breathing room on my side. I'm sure it's available. I'd be very surprised right now if it's booked. And I could let you in if you wanted.
Okay, hang on, let me see.
No worries. You're welcome to keep that one up anytime if people need to have some level of communication.
Looks like Matt's there. Matt, can you hear us?
Yes, you can.
Okay, we might have to move to a different room because apparently this one was reserved at about 3 o'clock as well, just in case it runs over.
Okay.
So let me see if we can find the other room and then sign on there.
Yeah, I can take you over and we can set up.
Sounds
Thank you.
good.
So I'll leave you on here for a minute and we'll see if I can go in the room. So,
Sounds like a plan.
all right, thanks, Matt. I'll come get you.
I was gonna say, I'll hold the fort down.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you that have just joined us, Supervisors Joya and Glover, who are on this committee, are currently finishing up a Contra Costa County Fire Protection District Board meeting. As soon as that ends, I think we will begin this committee meeting.
And Matt, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. So we switch to the, which meeting?
Closed session room.
Closed session room.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to wait for, they're still going with the fire, commissioner meeting, so.
Correct.
You know,
Matt, Adam.
Hi, Adam. Adam, can you advise the security folks up front that if people come in?
Yeah,
Okay,
because how many people, I can look at who replied, but I don't know how many people we're actually gonna have. I didn't think a lot.
yeah, I mean, we don't require RSVPs, so,
No, okay, I think we're good.
okay.
is this gonna
And
be-
for everyone who's waiting online, Supervisors Joya and Glover, who are on this committee, are currently finishing up a Contra Costa Fire Protection District board meeting, and they will be in as soon as they are done with that meeting. So we are standing by. Good afternoon, everyone. Just a reminder, the Contra Costa County Fire Protection District Board meeting is still going on. Supervisors Joya and Glover, who are on this committee, are also on that board. As soon as that ends, they will come over for this committee meeting.
Afternoon, everyone.
All right, good afternoon. Well, let's pull this up. Pull up my agenda. Do we have agenda? Any of those? It's one of them.
That has it
I'll pull
up
it
on
in
the screen.
share. How's that? Oh, sure. We'll share our agenda. All right, good afternoon. This is a meeting of the Contra Costa County Industrial Safety Ordinance Committee. I'm John Joya, the chair.
I'm Supervisor Glover, Vice Chair.
Okay. All right, so the first item is just public comment on any item not on our agenda. Is there any public comment on items not on the agenda?
If anyone would like to make a public comment on any item not on today's agenda, but under the purview of this committee, please raise your hand now in the Zoom app. We have no hands.
Okay, all right. The purpose of this special meeting was have one item, receive an update on a grand jury report regarding the community warning system and provide input into response on issues addressed to the board. So this item is going to be on the Board of Supervisors agenda next week with the response that's being prepared, I know, by the county administrator's office. But because this committee has been dealing with the warning system, we wanted just to have some discussion and provide any input. The grand jury report dated May 31st has several findings and recommendations, of which some of the recommendations are addressed to the sheriff, R4, R5, and R8. And R1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 were to the Board of Supervisors. And as I understand, the sheriff's office has prepared a response, and the county administrator's office is preparing. So we wanted to provide some input, and specifically, I just wanted to raise a couple things that we could talk about. And I understand some issues are being looked into. So for example, recommendations 1 and 2 really address the issue of modifying or implementing a plan to modify the community warning system so that it automatically registers all available contact data into its system. Right, and provides a mechanism for residents to opt out of the automatic registration process. Right now, as I understand it, the community warning system automatically gets we have all the landline, but there's only about, I think the report says, was it 20% of cell phone numbers are in the system because people have to affirmative 30%. It says 30% of residents have created an account and entered their contact data. Because I think what that means is 30% have entered their cell phone data because everybody's landline is registered. And what the grand jury has said in the report is that under the law, we can get access to the cell phone data. And I understand the county administrator's office is looking into that. I don't know, do you have any other information on that, Matt?
Matt, is there anyone on the CWS side that can speak to that information right now that's online?
I don't see anybody online. If someone is online from the office of the sheriff with the community warning system group and wants to raise our hand on Zoom, I can promote you to a panelist. Supervisor Joya, from the health perspective, we're not the administrators of the community warning system, so I don't think we would be able to definitively answer that question.
When I spoke to Tim Ewell recently, Tim said they were looking into this And he says he believes that that data is available. And that he said, they're looking into maybe doing a larger study. So what I was thinking, Federal, is that on those two recommendations for the input is that, obviously subject to it being legally available, that we would recommend that we should develop a plan to automatically register all available data from cell phones under R1 and R2, subject to whatever other issues we need to explore. I think that's something that, right, we want to recommend.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's always been an issue, is not having all the cell data.
Access, yeah. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that piece.
So what we would want is when this comes to the board, is just have that input on R1 and R2, that we agree that we should develop a plan to automatically register all available contact data that we can under the law. And again, the grand jury discusses this point. County Administrator's Office is verifying that. The other issue on R3 was the board should commission a sound study by an independent third party to determine the feasibility of deploying LRADs in any areas of the county. And LRADs are those speaker systems where they actually use our system to actually put out a message. And I know Berkeley, Riverside County, and some other cities are doing that, and the grand jury is just recommending that we study that issue. And I know when I spoke to Tim Ewell, he mentioned that there may be some other things we want to look at as well. So that really gets to R3. Does Health have any experience with the LRADs? LRAD stands for Long Range Acoustic Device, which is gives audible instructions to people through the when the cell phones may not be working, so they can give it through the speakers. So
we don't have any experience with those types of systems currently.
One of the things I kind of leery on that, because if people are trying to communicate and you really can't hear what's going on, it could put people in a panic mode that they have missed something, and I don't think we want to do that. So maybe we study it, but I
that's
don't.
what they're saying. What do they say? Commission a study to determine the feasibility of deploying LRADs.
Yeah, I think.
You're good, you're fine with that? So again, I'm subject to the county administrator's report and discussion with the board. We agree that commissioning a sound study, right, just to explore that makes sense. And then R6 is to execute a contract with a third-party consulting firm to conduct a comprehensive risk analysis of CWS, including processes, procedures, so forth. And then R7 is direct the CEO to establish. We'll need to first go to R6. My understanding is Tim Ewell's looking at addressing that issue and reporting to the board next week.
So what
is conducting a risk analysis of the community warning system, including its processes, procedures, contracts, hardware, and software. What Tim was saying was it may make sense to do a larger study, and this could be part of a larger study. So I'm willing to sort of wait to see what he says.
Yeah. Because that's something that we really haven't done over all the years it's been in existence.
So that's something Tim will come back with a recommendation. And then R7 was setting up a CWS advisory committee, subcommittee of the Emergency Services Policy Board. And in speaking to Tim Ewell, he said that they're looking at that issue and maybe not setting up a separate committee, but there's already others represented. So I'm willing to wait to see their recommendation on that. So I mean, so what we're really saying is study the LRADs and then look at, yes, how do we figure out a way to bring all cell phones on? Is that sort of our,
So 2 recommendations for R1 and R2.
and
Okay,
R3, and R3, and
R3.
was it
R6.
R6?
R3
I
is study.
mean, R1, 2, and 3. Is we're saying we agree with those essentially, subject to hearing the discussion, but right. Did health have any comments on that?
Sounds good. I think, I don't think we have any comments on that. That's
No, I
reasonable.
think in general, Supervisor Joya and Glover, from the health department's perspective, if there is a hazardous materials emergency, we want to get the word out of what the public protection actions may be required to protect the public. So any way and means to do that, we are in support of.
Is there any public comment on this, on this item?
If anyone would like to make a public comment on item number 3, please raise your hand now in the Zoom app. We have one comment from Sohaila.
Thank you. Hello, supervisors. I appreciate your great work. I'm confused about R7. Did you make a decision on that or not? My
We weren't making a recommendation. The county administrator's office is coming to the board. All this is going to be on our board agenda next Tuesday.
Okay, I would like to suggest that the fire safe councils be included in such advisory board. We would like to have a representative. We would really appreciate it.
I think what we may hear, Sohaila, from the county administrator's office is that they may not be in favor of a new advisory committee, but utilize existing structure. So we're going to have that discussion next week when it comes to the board.
Okay, so the discussion will be at the Board of Supervisors meeting?
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
So what we were doing is what we were wanting to do today is recommend to the board when this comes up next week, that we to do the study on R1, 2, and 3.
Right, but R7 says the Board of Supervisors should direct the county.
Yeah, that's going to be on the
administrative
agenda
officer.
next week. We're going to talk about that next week. At
So,
the
you-
board meeting.
so are you making a recommendation to
We're
Board of
not,
Supervisors?
we're waiting to the discussion next week.
Okay,
Yeah, it'll be before the board for a discussion by the board as a whole.
okay, thank you.
We have no more comments, supervisors.
All right, so are we finalizing those as recommendations then?
I would move it.
Second, okay, all in favor? So that will be our recommendation. Anything else?
No.
All right, I think we're adjourned.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Thank you, guys. Yeah.